Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Movie Couple Live, the show where we talk about the latest in movie news and pop culture. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And on today's show, we're talking about the first look at the live action Snow White.
Daredevil, Born Again, finds a new director and a new showrunner.
Five Nights at Freddy, we're going to get into all the spoilers, the movie that is, not the game.
And Loki, Season 2, Episode 4, spoiler talk.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to get into that too today.
Thank you guys all for being here. I know, and I feel like I've been saying this for the last few lives because we used to go live twice a week, and then it became less and less and less as more things, quote unquote, opened back up.
As soon as life opened back up.
Yeah.
And things just got more and more crazy. So these live streams are, few and far between, but we still love being able to come on here and talk especially spoiler talks, talk about some movie news when they drop. And I also am really excited to kind of talk about what's going on with Snow White. And of course, Navi is here too to say,
freshly groomed.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Oh,
Even
is
she's
that
got
what she would sound like if she was a human.
I hope not, because that would be a little that would be a little
felt
creepy.
like the Wicked Witch. She's too cute to have that voice.
I know, but that's just her Halloween voice. Okay, I'll let you. Navi's getting a little squirmy,
She
so
hates it.
you can go now. She immediately is like,
Oh, she
Dad.
gave the
A bombastic
biggest,
side eye.
She did. So thank you guys all for being here. You guys, I have missed interacting with you in real time because I know, like, when you guys comment and you're on Discord, then yeah, we chat back and forth. But like, I don't get to hang out in Discord, 24/7, and the comments, sometimes I see them much later. Sometimes I see it right away, which is cool. But in any case, we're excited that you guys are here. We have a ton of topics to talk about. Let's talk about real quick what is new on the channel that you may not know. We have 2 movie reviews that are on the channel. One for Trolls 3, Trolls Band Together. It's actually not called Trolls 3 at all. It's just
Trolls Band Together.
And if any of my fellow fans of boy bands, you are gonna love this movie. Like, they go so hard on the references. It's great. I felt like I was transported back to my early 2000 self.
The whole movie is pretty much some kind of boy band reference.
Mhm.
And it is just constantly throughout the entire movie. And it honestly, even if you weren't into boy bands like myself, it's still a good chuckle. It's still a good time. Go check out our review. We'll give you some more details there.
Yes, and then there's also like a Q&A. It's a shorter video Q&A with the filmmakers of the movie because it was screened at the Animation Is Film Festival. So go ahead and check that out if you're really into Trolls. You can find out how NSYNC got involved. And then we also have a review for Quiz Lady, and that is a comedy starring Aquafina and Sandra Oh as sisters. That's going to be coming to Hulu, I believe, November 3rd. I'm not sure if it has a theatrical release or not. I'm not sure if they're doing like kind of like the day and date. I
don't know. I mean, you know what? All movies now that do come out on streaming always seem to at least put it in a limited run on theaters, just in case they end up going, oh, people really like this. Let's push for awards. Or some kind of, because once you've put it into theaters, you don't have to go back and change that.
Yes. So there is that. And then for reactions, aside from Loki, which you've been seeing us do, we're also taking up Gen V. We gotta still watch episode 7, so please don't put spoilers down for episode 7. Oh, I know that is even crazier than episode 6.
Each episode has gotten crazier and crazier. And because of Gen V, and now that we have been watching a couple episodes and we're almost done with season 1 of Gen V, Wendy and I are like, you know what? We've got to dive into the boys. Even though I've already seen a ton of footage. I've had a ton of spoilers. I have to admit, even knowing what happens to a lot of these characters, it's still an amazing show. Everyone's hype has not been overdone. The Boys is an amazing series, and I cannot wait to watch more episodes. I think we're only on like episode
4?
4.
What's the latest that's
season
happened?
1.
The plane rescue.
Yeah,
with Homelander and Queen Maeve
and the dolphin with the deep.
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's weird that sometimes, and I know there's a couple more moments of things like that happen, and it hurts more sometimes than it does seem like it happened to a human.
Yeah. Oh God. I know we were both like, no, not the dolphin. So, and I see Stardew your comment, where's Debbie? Because Debbie, I think she's usually busy on Saturdays, but Debbie is one of our movie bunch. She's been following for a long time, and she's a fellow boy band enthusiast, if you will. We're both NSYNC fans. I don't remember who her favorite band member is, but I've already talked to her on Discord about how much she's gonna love Trolls 3. So she definitely, you're right, Stardew. She will definitely be there. Yeah. On day one, I'm sure. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and am I missing anything else?
Can I mention this bit? Oopsie.
Do it.
Can I bet you? So
don't block the person.
Oh no, I wasn't.
Okay.
One thing that I also want to acknowledge is Leo's comment in the chat saying congratulations to Wendy for finally getting into the
Critics' Choice Association. I did it.
I was so happy for her. She deserves all of the love in the world because she is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really like that. When I got the acceptance email, it's so for Critics' Choice, they put on, and it's not that's not the only reason why people take notice of them, but they do put on a large award show. It's televised. It's grand. It's huge. I got to attend last year as a guest. And I was like, wow. And it's just like, a group of a lot of the people that I really respect in the industry that I have not gotten to meet yet, but they all belong to Critics' Choice, and you have to apply and going, and it's a pretty long process. So I'm really, really thankful, that I was accepted to be a member of the film branch. I just very excited and giddy. All what's funny is I got the acceptance email. I was running errands at a Target, and I was waiting for them to pull up my, what were they doing? Oh no, it was just the line. It was really, really long. So they processed it, and then I was like, oh, I guess I can look around. I've been here for 20 minutes, 30 minutes already. So I was in the dollar spot section, towards the beginning of the store, and my email pings, and I was like, oh. So I take a look, and it was the acceptance email, and I sat there, and I was like, I can't scream because I'm in a public place. So what do you do next? You cry about it.
You cried at Target?
I mean, I'm not but
that contained?
It was a contained, quiet cry, and then went into text Dustin and just a bunch of
I could tell through the text message that when he was containing the energy.
Yes.
But congratulations.
Thank you everybody who messaged and DM'd. I saw all of it. I don't know if I've responded to everything, but I'm very, very excited.
And Late to the Party is also in the chat saying congratulations.
Robert, Vanessa, hope you guys are well. Robert, I hope you're well. I miss you, bud. Happy birthday, happy belated birthday to us Virgo folks. I think our birthday is literally a day apart. I think our birthdays are a day apart.
Oh, really?
It's either that or his is closer to the middle of September. Mine's towards the beginning. I think his towards the middle. He'll confirm in the chat. But he says, currently editing. I mean, aren't we always? Aren't we? I literally edited 3 videos yesterday. Or no, day before that. It was Gen V, it was Quiz Lady, and it was Loki. I was like, my eyes.
They're going to burn out my retinas.
Yeah, for sure. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and jump into our very first topic.
So grab your coffee and grab your liquid IV.
Promo code.
I'm rehydrating today, so
yeah.
I was out in the sun all day yesterday.
If you are interested in liquid IV, if you need to replenish your stash, you can use promo code right here. The Movie Couple gets you 20% off plus free shipping, and it's an evergreen code, which means you can use it as often as you like. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our first topic. Oh, that little tick thing covers up our thing.
No.
It's fine. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Disney's live action Snow White. Now, we've known that this was happening, Rachel Zegler, and you've seen her in West Side Story. You've seen her in Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. So she's been cast as Snow White. And there's been some mixed reactions with the casting choice. We're not going to talk about that, though, because we're going to talk about the first look that they revealed for Snow White. We're going to go ahead and show it to you right here. That is the first image being released as Snow White. You see Rachel Zegler in the center, surrounded by the 7 dwarfs. And she's in her classic color palette and costume, big yellow skirt, bow in her hair. She's got the puffy sleeves, the blue and the red. I know traditionally she doesn't have long sleeves, but it's a costume, and I feel like they can have a little bit of creative
freedom, a little bit
with,
of creative license with because almost in every single live action cartoon that live action cartoon to live action that they've done, they've had some liberties with Jasmine's costume, with Snow White's costume, with Cinderella. All of them have had
that Cinderella
that one was they had some good changes in that one.
God, that just big poofy skirt, I love it. Do more food stands. Elliot's having some leftover pizza. Before we get into talking about Snow White, we want to say hello to Anthony. Anthony, thank you so much for your super chat. Anthony says, hello, Dustin and Wendy. Great to see you both and the movie bunch. Can't stay long with family. But wanted to send some loves. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
congrats to Wendy. Thank you. Before I go, what an episode of Loki.
Oh my gosh.
Anthony, I hope you can come back. Or I know it's towards the end of the show, but like,
I mean, it really took all of our fan theories and went, oh yeah, we're throwing that
bingo
out.
Card.
Yep. Did not see that. Did not see that coming at the very end. Don't want to throw any spoilers in there yet.
Yes.
Not until we actually start talking spoilers about it.
Yes. So thank you so much, Anthony. And thanks for like hopping on, even, while you're with family. I super appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, so Stray Kids come back November 10th. No, Anthony and I have talked about K-pop. He was at the Twice concert. That's where we met. So if, just want to throw that out there. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled conversation. So let's take a look at the image again. And I didn't know that they were going to be releasing like a first look image, because the movie had been delayed. It was supposed to come out next year in March, I believe, of 2024, and now it's delayed to the next year, 2025, also around the springtime release, March.
So it got bumped back pretty far.
Yeah, I don't know if that has a lot to do. I'm sure it has everything to do with both the WGA strike and the SAG strike.
Yeah, I think
which SAG is still currently on strike. The writers have reached a deal that they are happy with, so they're no longer on strike. But that doesn't mean people can just go back to production.
Wait, SAG did?
Sorry, WGA.
Oh, WGA. Yeah, WGA got their contract.
Yes.
SAG is still
they're still on strike.
Still negotiating.
Still not working. Yeah. So I'm not surprised about the delay. I feel like we're going to see a major shift in a lot of the releases coming soon, especially things that haven't been finished with production, haven't done their reshoots and pickups and, all things that are necessary. So I'm not really surprised. But I will say this image did catch me off guard.
I have to admit, I am right there with you. When I first saw it, I kind of went, huh. I was startled because I really did not expect the dwarves to look like that. I did not. It really. What was it? A few years ago, there were these pictures and I don't know if they're really memes, but pictures going around of cartoon characters if they were real, and they had like Homer Simpson, Bart Simpson, they had like SpongeBob SquarePants, and it was kind of like a siege, like this kind of animation.
Yeah.
But obviously not as good, but it has a similarity to where it looks weirdly cartoonishly not right real.
Yeah.
And it just threw me off.
Yeah.
I really do not like the way that the dwarves look.
I have to agree. I don't really remember reading into exactly what they had planned to do with those characters. I thought maybe they were hiring actors who are little people to perform in those roles. I guess I'm wrong. Is it so? Well, is it?
I don't think they hired little people either, because I remember Peter Dinklage got really upset about what they were doing. Now, at that time, we had no idea what they were actually doing with the dwarves, but Peter Dinklage was like livid with Disney. The exact details, I don't think he really specified anything because he probably couldn't.
Yeah.
But he was really upset. And I honestly thought that what they were going to do was kind of more of what they did in Lord of the Rings, but actually like hire little people, but then give them makeup to make them look more like the characters in the movie.
Yeah.
But that's not the direction they went at all.
Yeah.
They went full on CGI'd face. So I'm really curious on there's going to be, I think they're going to be taking that, what is that, uncanny valley of what we get when we get animated people. And I think it's going to be such a sore thumb. I think throughout the entire movie, that uncanny valley is going to be hitting people in the face.
So I think what they're trying to do with, and I read one, I think it was Wasted Pose comment, is that they're going with like less Lord of the Rings, but more the fairy tale sense of dwarves.
Yeah, true.
So I guess I can see that, but putting them like the CGI next to Rachel, and because there's 7 of them, or next to Snow White, should I say, it doesn't. Yeah, I think it's hitting that uncanny valley or something. It's my eyes. I'm not liking the image. Like if I look at each character by design, I can kind of pick out, okay, this is Happy, this is Doc, this is Dopey, this is Grumpy. Grumpy is the one, to our right, her left, in the red and the purple.
Yeah, you can kind of see Dopey in there in the back, your Doc. But, okay, I think there's one way that they kind of could pull this off. If instead of going that live action route, they're kind of going for that close to live action, to where, true, all of the dwarves have this animated kind of look. But even if they did that to Snow White, to where, like, what is that? Oh, I can't remember the name of Nick. No. It was an anime movie, and they took her eyes, and she was an android. I can't remember the name.
Are you talking about that Robert Rodriguez film?
Was it? I'm sure someone in the chat will bring it up as soon as I can talk about it. But
why can't I think of it?
Exactly. But if they actually took her and actually did a little bit,
Alita Battle Angel.
That's what it was.
Thanks, Wasted Po.
Thank you. And kind of how they did like her eyes a little bit bigger and animated her face a little bit more to make it so it fit a little bit more of what she looked like in the original cartoon.
Yeah.
I think that would then match to where you have live action actors, but the whole world and everything and the characters have this animated feel to them. But I think Snow White's going to stick out like a sore thumb because she doesn't have any of this. She's the odd man out, so to speak, in this animated world.
Yeah. So Elliot in the comments is saying they said the 7 characters. Oh, I just lost the comment. Sorry, Elliot. There we go. All right. The 7 characters are going to be magical creatures. I do know it's not 7 dwarfs. So there's that.
So they're not calling them 7. They're not calling them dwarf, even though it's Snow White and the 7 dwarfs.
No, I think the title of the film is just called Snow White.
Oh.
Yeah, and I also agree with this. Feels like maybe they should wait it until they look closer to the final version. But what if that is the final version?
I think that is. I mean, they would not. That shot.
Yeah, I don't think the company would have released it.
What they're finally going to look like.
Yeah, I don't think the company would have released it if it didn't get like a stamp of approval from the people with the power to approve said things.
Now, here's a quick little thing too. What if the backlash on this picture ends up kind of being like Sonic the Hedgehog? I mean,
there's so much more going on with this film than just this, though. I think this is really the light of the thing.
It's a trailer.
Yeah, people are not liking, the lead actress. She's getting just making headlines, if you will. I don't really know how I feel about that because on screen, like as an actress, I like her. Yeah, I thought she was great in West Side Story. Yep. I thought she was good in Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
I agree with both of those.
Obviously, we haven't seen Snow White yet, and she is going to be also the lead, aside from Coriolanus Snow. She's going to be she's going to be Lucy in the Hunger Games prequel film.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So she's in that as well, and she's singing. She's got a great singing voice.
We know she can sing.
but with interviews and you know and everything, she has said things that it didn't land right, because I watched it, and I watched the whole thing, and then I watched, because when you watch it, just like when people like put it on TikTok or whatever in short form, and they clip it out from like the entire thing, it looks way worse than it is. But also when you put it, when you watch it, you get more of the context. But still, there's there's something that comes through that you're just like, oh, I don't, it's not sitting right with me. So
yeah, well,
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know either. And honestly, to tell you the truth, we're only seeing a picture. That's all we're seeing in this. I mean, we have not gotten to see a trailer. We haven't actually gotten to see them move or talk or what the story is. They could actually end up pulling this off, and it could be absolutely amazing. I feel like this kind of, the way that this hit me was very much the way that the announcement for Wonder Woman kind of hit me. It's Gal Gadot, and you're like,
who is also in this film,
and you're like, what? How? And but then when you saw it, you're like, oh, okay, I see what they were going for. I see how that works now. Right now, it's just a picture. And there's a lot of criticism going on about it. So I'm hoping that this works out. I'm hoping that it's not as bad as we think it's going to be.
Right.
But of course, I always hope when it comes to movies and TV shows and everything that it's never as bad as we think it's going to be.
Yeah.
So, and true, someone in the comments mentioned that it's not as bad as of CGI like Sonic.
No, but with the human teeth with Sonic, that was just the first iteration. I was like, what is this? Well, the thing is that it looked nothing like what we know as Sonic.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at these, you can clearly tell, oh, okay, these are the Seven Dwarfs from the Snow White story.
Yeah.
You can clearly tell that. I think the jarring thing is you're putting them up against, I think somebody said it, like, the realism isn't blending.
Yeah.
And I think and I think that's kind of it. So we'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, a lot of you guys are saying we're still so far away, like over a year away now.
Oh, yeah.
From this project. So there's a lot of things that could be done if they want to do, they will continue to work on it. So like, I guess we'll just wait and see. But I know there's a lot of people up in arms about like the lead and everything. And right now I don't super love the photo, but we will wait and see. There hasn't been, as much as I love Disney, like you guys know, I love Disney. I love the merch. Disney fans. I love their movies, animated stuff, like grew up with it. Very excited for Wish. Love the Once Upon a Studio short.
Yes, I thought that was really cute.
Yeah.
Nostalgia to the max.
But they're like live action adaptation of classic animated films. I have not loved a lot of them.
Yeah.
Cinderella, I really like. That's still top for me.
All of the rest, when you're watching them and you're kind of like excited about it.
Yes.
They can kind of hit that nostalgia button. Yes. But that kind of wears off after you kind of come home, a few days, weeks have passed, and then you're kind of thinking about it, and you're like, it just doesn't stick with you as much as the original did.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious to see how this turns out. I was never really a huge Snow White fan. Right. A little bit before my time.
Yeah,
but
neither one of us. That's neither, because we didn't grow. Yes, it's a classic tale, and I feel like I knew the story before I even saw like the classic. Probably a little bit of both, like the blending of like because it is an actual fairy tale that existed before Disney made it into the movie, but it's also kind of synonymous when you think Snow White, you have that image. But like we grew up during like the Renaissance, so it was like the Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, Lion King,
and those Aladdin, were like some of the first ones that got the live action treatment. Well, no, Maleficent,
Cinderella was actually the first one.
Was it the first?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, maybe it was Maleficent first, actually. Maleficent, and then Cinderella, and then all the sequels for Maleficent, and then other stuff. Blake says
Pinocchio.
And Pinocchio, that we didn't love. Blake says, I wonder how much money this film has blown through so far. Ooh. I mean, usually there's a set budget, but yeah, I wonder how that's, because you still have to pay people to continue to work on it. And now it's delayed, so yeah, very curious to see how all the numbers play out at the end. But we'll have to wait a whole year.
And Elliot does mention the Jungle Book, which I have to admit, was
we
really
like that
good.
one a lot.
But see, that's something else that makes me rethink what I was thinking about before of Snow White being the only like real person and everyone else is animated. That Jungle Book did that. Jungle Book pulled that off insanely well. Yeah. Where that little boy, where Mowgli was the only live action thing. Everything else,
even the trees and the river,
everything, and pulled it off amazingly well. I can't
believe. Oh my God! I remember sitting in the theater, like I think it was at a screening, and I was like, "So this is not real?" And I whispered, "I don't even know who was sitting next to me." And they're like, "It's not real." I was like, "How?" Yeah, it was wow. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. But that is so far our thoughts on the first look of Snow White.
But Nick, yes, I did like the Jungle Book, and there are parts of Beauty and the Beast that I liked. I liked I loved Gaston. I thought he was one of the. I want to see a Gaston series.
Yes, we were supposed to get that.
Didn't happen.
We're not getting that anymore.
Nope.
All right, moving on. This is what we are getting. We are getting Daredevil Born Again, and we are going to get a new showrunner and directors for the series. So originally, they had found the right people for the job. They started production on it, and unfortunately, due to the writer's halt,
episodes.
Yeah, they filmed quite a bit, and then the writer's strike happened, and then so production was stopped, and then the actors' strike. So the writer's strike, and then the actor strike happened, and then everything stopped production unless you had the one of those like interim agreement that you got approval from, which a production like Marvel's Daredevil Born Again was not going to have that. So they've been struck, and the production, nothing is happening. However, I guess there's been some creative differences because they took what they had and they said, we're going to wipe it clean. We're going to start over.
Which makes me a little nervous, but also, happy that they're willing to be able to be like, whoa. This is not going in the direction that we want.
Yeah.
And we need to change this up because, the fact that they've already filmed 6 episodes and I'm just like, wow, they are pushing the reset button pretty hard after filming 6 episodes.
Their timeline got pruned. So they now, and this is being exclusively reported by The Hollywood Reporter, they now have a brand new showrunner and new directors. So the showrunner, they are tapping, I'm going to pronounce his name so wrong, I'm so sorry, but he also worked on Netflix's The Punisher, and Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, Dario Scardapane. Sorry if I'm saying that. I know I'm saying it wrong. So that is going to be the new showrunner for the Daredevil series. And they also have directors. They brought on Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, who are the co-directing team behind Loki.
Season 2 of Loki. Yeah. And so far,
and we're liking season 2 of Loki.
So far, I'm loving season 2 of Loki. So I am really, really happy that they are bringing these people on because I also think that that's something, once you've worked on one Marvel property and then you can kind of weave in more of the directors and more of the creative minds from previous projects, it makes it so that vibe and that feeling comes forward in other projects.
Yes. So, kind of like you, when I first heard the news, and I was like, they did what? And then I thought, well, this could be a bad thing. This could be people putting their heads together and really taking a step back at what they have, and they go, this isn't the direction we want to go with this, and we're gonna start it over. So it could be a good thing. That also means, the series, I think it's now delayed, right? Obviously, because now they have to, they literally, so obviously the writers are back to work, so they can start writing as long as, the producers, the directors, and the showrunners have an idea of whatever new direction they want to move the series, they can do that, but the writers still they need to have the time to write, to work on the script, and then until the strike is over, which is hopefully soon. I know the AMPTP and SAG are back at the table, and they're supposedly working through the weekend. I think maybe independently, like kind of internally working through the weekend to see if they can come to an agreement. So hopefully the end is near for the strike. But even then, it's not like they can just hop like let's say the strike is over on Monday. It's not like all the actors can be like, let's go back to work. It can't work like that.
Oh no, it takes a while to get the gears of that machine back up and running.
Yeah. So I feel like if they go back into production, the earliest is January, but I don't see them going back to filming until like maybe February, because you got to remember the writers need to write, and they're not writing 24 hours around the clock. I'm sure this new deal protects them from being worked, like that.
And also, Daredevil was a big project. They were talking 20 some odd episodes between the two different seasons that they were going to put back to back. So one, that's a lot of rewrites. That's a lot of taking everything that they had previously worked on and scrapping it. Yes. And I'm just hoping that they keep with the Netflix vibe of Daredevil and the Netflix vibe of Punisher. I heard rumors that the original storyline actually had Foggy and what's her name? Karen die in the first episode. Now,
you heard this?
It 100% rumor.
Okay.
I cannot verify that, but they are going back, and they might be changing it. So if that is true, I'm glad that they're changing things up.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they stay closer to the Netflix vibe. And even though I liked having the kind of jokey vibe that Daredevil had in She-Hulk, I don't want to see a whole series of that. Having just a little bit of it is fun. I want to go back to the dark, brooding hallway fight.
Late to the Party also said they heard that they died as well.
And I love those characters.
Yeah, we love them.
And I would love to see them more involved. Now, if you kill them later in the series to where their death has a little bit more of an impact, then okay, fine. That's your choice. They're your characters. But to kind of kick them out in the very first episode is just, no. You don't do that to people.
Yes. So I may potentially then the new direction, is a good thing. Again, it's playing the game, as part of being like the fan is you have to wait and see. Like, yes, we want like hurry up and finish it, but at the same time, it's like, do you want them to rush this, or do you want them to like really take the time and care and make it a good series? And so we can be excited about seeing Daredevil after the series, like, oh, and this and in that and in this and in that. And I want it to, and I know it's not going to be exactly like the Netflix Marvel stuff. I get it.
It's going to be a little bit more lighthearted.
Yeah, but I just want them to find the story. I did an interview with One Piece producer, and he directed, I believe, the first episode, but he also worked on the Netflix Daredevil stuff, and I think Punisher and Luke Cage as well. Mark Jones, and I asked him, like, do you have any sort of like, how did I say it? Any tips on, or like guidelines that like, the new series of Daredevil shouldn't break, because he worked on the other one. He's like, I don't like to play in boxes like that. He's like, rules can be broken. Yeah. He goes, as long as he's a fan of storytelling. That's what he's a fan of. So, I think that's the one thing I hope that the new team can like kind of take that into account. Just like tell a really good story. Action, I know we're going to be covered. Like, I'm not worried about the action. Yeah, Marvel does action pretty well. Yeah. But this is a problem that a lot of big budget properties have been having, especially ones that are connected to Disney. Yes. Is the fact that they have this idea, they go forward, they put in all of this money, and they're like, oh, we don't like it. We now have to put in more money. It takes, your reasonable $175 million project and turn it into a $300 million project. And it makes it so hard to turn a profit on something like that. I think that's something that I'm feeling a little bit more frustration with Disney, is that they seem like they are constantly doing things like that, where they're like, no, we don't like the direction. We have to replace the director. We have to do this. And they've done that a couple of times. And I'm hoping
fingers crossed that these are one, good changes, and two, because of the strikes, because of COVID, because of all of this crazy chaos the changing of CEOs. I mean, Disney has gone through 3 big chaotic moments.
Yeah.
From COVID to CEO change to writer strikes and actor strikes.
Yes.
So they have to hop back on that bike and start going.
And I think that's what they're doing right now, is just talking it through, laying down the new storyline and working from that.
I'm a little nervous because it really does seem like Disney goes through waves,
I think all studios do, though.
Well, yeah. No, you're right. That is true. But I think Disney's
it's just what
are
we're
a little bit more
attention
prevalent
to.
too.
Yeah.
Because you have these moments of the Disney Renaissance.
Yeah.
And then other movies that are just like, what? Yeah. What studio did this come from?
I think also sometimes as fans, like we hold on to that, like certain eras so hard, and we take everything else and compare it to that. Right? Like we all loved that Avengers era. Loved it. And everybody's like, that was peak Marvel. And it's kind of like, well, naturally everything else comes after it. Like that's a high.
Yeah.
So
the first
you
time
have to,
seeing a group superhero together.
You have to then build it back up, and it takes time. Like, like I remember the first Iron Man, like walking in. First I thought, when I heard about it, I was like, Iron Man?
Oh, I was just the opposite.
Well, because you see, you're not the general audience. You're a fan of, like, the comic books and stuff like that. Before, for me, like, my definition at the time of superheroes was the Holy Trinity, that I like to call them, in Justice League, Spider-Man, the X-Men, some Marvel characters, obviously, but Iron Man was not, like, on my list of, like, first solo Marvel film. I'm like,
kick off the MCU.
Yeah, I was like, what? And I actually thought it was going to be somebody like Captain America, because that's, like, the first Avenger. And I was like, and then I went into the movie and I absolutely loved it. And, like, I was like, take me, I'm your fan, immediately. So
I actually had to
buy
think
it just takes time.
A second DVD for the first Iron Man movie, because the first one had actually gotten, there was a couple times where I fell asleep watching it, and it just stayed in the DVD player and just, all night long on that menu. So I kind of burned it out.
Yes. Yeah.
But then I got the Blu-ray version.
Yes. Oh, so going back to Daredevil, super excited to see Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
Super excited. And I like what Nick is saying here too. Nick says, so the main takeaway here is get familiar with a lot more foreign content, because it's probably the only thing that'll be good for the next few years. Yeah. The strikes, strikes are meant to be interruptive. So that's exactly what it's doing. And hopefully the AMPTP can be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
and hopefully
we need to
understand.
work together.
Yeah, but for a little while, some of the content, it's because you can only film so many things and then have it all released, and then now you have nothing, and then you have to start creating again. So there might be a law. Korean content has always been great for me, and I know there's other content that are great out there, but it's just like just kind of like my style. Like, I really, really like it. Moving. On Hulu, it's a Korean drama series. There's very little, for those people who don't like K-drama for romance. It's not based on that. It's almost think like Heroes and X-Men a little bit. Without giving too much away, it's on Hulu. But if you don't want to, like, because right now it's only available in Korean, and then you can read the English subtitle. Soon, I think it was a UMK that said this in our Discord, that soon they're going to have it available in an English dub. And I know some people prefer to watch an English dub. So, like, watch this series. The story is so good. This series will have you weeping at the end. Like, I cannot believe I cried.
There's so many times
I could not believe it,
because Wendy's watching it. But since it's I can't watch something without subtitle, without it being dubbed, because I cannot read fast enough to keep up with the story. But hearing Wendy in the other room go, oh my God, throughout the entire time she's watching this, I'm like, what's going on? And then she's like, I can't. It would take me forever to tell you this incredibly
we're gonna watch it when it's available again on Hulu, and just oh god, it's so good. Oh man. All right, so highly suggesting Moving. And then there is another for like foreign content. It's also Korean. It's a reality game show series. I made Dustin watch it, but we were kind of invested by the end of it. It's called No, you weren't? Oh, you were. You
I shook my head because the people in this series make the smartest people that I know look dumb. These people are like,
they're so smart. They're so smart.
I'm like, huh?
The show is called The Devil's Plan. You can watch it's on Netflix. You can watch it in English dubbed, or I think there's several options. This is one show. So for the most part, when I watch Korean content, I will watch it to listen to the Korean so I can kind of help me like learn the language, and then I'll read sometimes I put on Chinese subtitles so I can also remember my Chinese, but most often is English subtitle. This show, I could not do it in Korean and read it. Like my mind was not computing. I had to switch it to English dub because when they explained the game, I was like, am I dumb? Why don't I get this? And every single contestant's like, oh, that's easy. I was like, I don't get it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's simple math. It's just a simple, it's elementary math. Yeah. And I'm like,
Squid Game for the mind. Think Squid Game for the mind. No one dies. There's nothing like that. But
people's head don't explode.
No. But they do go to jail. They go to like an actual they put them in like in a cave with bars, and it's crazy. You got to watch it. It's so good. Anyways, I'm sorry. Now we went from talking about Daredevil to Korean content, which is kind of what happens a lot in this house, anyways. Before we move on to
something shiny,
our next topic, thank you so much to Roger 5171 for your super chat, who writes, is it too Miss Minute to want to put the negotiators in one of those orange boxes from Loki until they come to an agreement?
And every single time when they're like, oh no, we don't like this contract, the box is getting a little bit smaller.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would oof.
Oh, and what happened in this latest
episode? We're going to talk about it soon.
We're going to talk about it, but we have one more topic.
Thank you so much for your super chat, Roger.
Thank you so much, Roger. We'll definitely be addressing the box later on.
Well, guys, we're going to get into spoiler territories for the rest of the show. So if you have not seen Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie, you're not here for the spoilers. We will bid you farewell here. But if you don't care about spoilers, you've seen the movie and you want to talk about it, we're going to talk about it. We're also going to be doing a giveaway for these buttons that we got at the special screening. And these are just like little buttons. Hold on. You want to hold yours up?
Oh, okay. Here, I'll bring them a little bit closer. So, there we go.
You're not so.
I'm trying. Right. It's what is it? There we go. We got these two buttons.
We got Foxy and Cupcake. We're going to be giving both of these away. Unfortunately, we're only doing it for the US because it's really expensive to ship things overseas, even little things. But if you're interested in the buttons, go ahead and send an email to moviecouplecechannel@gmail.com. Hold on, let me make sure that's the right email. I don't know our email. Hold on.
So yeah, go ahead and put it in.
And just say which one you want, and then we're going to do a randomized thing.
Yep.
Just make sure you are in the US when you submit. moviecouplecechannel@gmail.com.
So it's just put it in the Movie chat. Couple Channel.
Yeah, there's no THE in the beginning. It's so quiet.
Sorry. For some reason, I was just fascinated. I was like watching you type in everything. I'm like, wait a second, I should be talking.
Ooh, and I got to support our friends here. Late to the Party says, you should, I got to watch this video. You should also, let me put it up. You should also, dang it. No.
Oh,
this one.
For a second, I thought you deleted it and accidentally blocked them.
Oh, God. Okay. Late to the Party says, you should also watch our reaction to Five Nights at Freddy's movie after this stream. 100%. Robert and Vanessa, I will be there, and I will definitely be watching after the stream. I definitely want to see your reaction. But yes. So yeah, email us if you would like one of the buttons. Let us know. Oh, shoot. Let us know if you want Foxy or Cupcake, and we will send it out to you. Blade says some random person is going to be like, who is sending me all these butt reels? Some other person. That's the movie couple channel.
Yeah. That would be kind of sad if someone has the movie couple channel.
Yeah.
But no, it's just movie couple channel.
Yes.
But yeah, honestly, going into this movie, I think Wendy and I had two completely different expectations. I was going into this movie thinking, okay, one, it's a video game adaptation. Two, the video game that they're basing it on really doesn't have much of a narrative that you are playing through to actually tell. You're a security guard in this place, and for some reason, after the first night of seeing robots trying to kill you, you come back for another 4 nights.
Yeah.
And trying to capture that in a live action movie is, I personally think, very, very difficult to execute. Very difficult. Even when you have video games that have these incredible stories and incredible narrative and incredible characters, it is still hard to pull off. So I knew that Five Nights at Freddy's really had its work cut out for them when they did it. However, seeing the trailer and seeing like the animatronics and knowing that it was the Jim Henson production that put them together did make me a little excited to be able to see this movie. But also, I played the game once. I was terrified. I sucked at the game, and I kind of rage quit. So, not really, but it was kind of like, okay, nope, I'm done. I'm done with this.
Oh, yeah.
So, I had weird feelings going into this movie, but honestly, I thought deep down inside, I was expecting this movie to be terrible, absolutely horrific.
I was kind of on the opposite of it. I hadn't played it. You guys can listen to our whole non-spoiler review if you'd like. So we're not gonna like be sitting here reviewing the movie. But I had not played the game, but I have watched streams, not of like the like bigger streamers that would play, even though I know of those, but it's a lot of my friends streamed it as well from the very beginning, and I was like, oh, what is this? And I was like, oh my god, this is terrifying. I could never play it. Like, my anxiety was going through the roof, and if I was playing it, like, I couldn't have coffee before or after. It's too much. MK writes, Five Nights at Freddy's earned $78 million, busting all sorts of opening records, best for Halloween, Peacock Day and Date, and etc. via Deadline. Despite the middling review, seems to be a hit among fans. I knew the fans was going to come out in droves for this. It's got a huge, huge fan base. What started out as an indie game, now there's like how many? 12?
There's 12?
I think there's 12 games.
Okay, I thought there was like 4 or 5.
And like maybe 5 books or something like that. I don't know. You guys let me know. But thank you so much for putting that in there. And then we know that they are also, Noah is saying that there are a couple of streamers and gamers who cameoed in the film. Corey as the taxi driver, Matt Pat as the diner waiter. So I was pretty excited about this movie because I was like, the puppets are there, when the animatronics, they're made by Jim Henson, like the master of all puppets, right?
Yeah.
And the game, from what I have watched, is terrifying. And yes, I know it's mostly just the animatronics coming towards you and trying to get rid of you in the most horrible way possible. And there's jump scares and your battery's depleting. So yeah, like you said, it is quite simple. But I was like, oh, I wonder what they can do with this movie. And I think what was disappointing in me was not that they explored the lore. I think that's totally fine, and that's totally
what you're supposed
valid
to do in the movie.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't know that, like, the lore of like the kids and like how they're like their spirits and whatever, the haunted kids, like in the like. I don't think people knew that was actually the thing, and it is the lore. But what I wish that they did a little bit more was lean into the gameplay bit of it. I don't need a whole hour, 50 minute of just security cameras, but oh my gosh, what if they had filmed this half in the way they were doing it with like the exposition of, the lore and all that stuff, and connecting it to the people who they need to connect it to, but also do it how they did like the movie Searching. Yeah. And they were recording things through various like security cams and webcams and things like that.
That would have been
have been so cool. This is the one where you
like found footage.
Yeah, this would have been the perfect. Oh, why? And now I want that version.
This was also rated PG-13.
Yes.
Now, you don't have to have a rated R rating for a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
However, I feel like this movie could have been benefited from having a little bit more gore,
yes.
from being a little bit more violent.
Yes.
Or if you're making it PG-13, do the found footage and then you do your violence all through these blurry
so
TV.
It's a little bit, yeah.
So it can be tamed. What I had a big problem with is that they tried to connect this unrelated story of the main character. And I feel like they didn't quite succeed in trying to bring the security guard story into Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
And it felt very unnecessary.
Yes.
And also something that I feel like they did not achieve is the absolute terror and anxiety that you feel for one jump scare. That's all they have in that game, is that one jump scare if you lose and die.
They didn't do it at all.
I have a theory on what they could have done, but I want to know your guys' feelings on this, because I'm not that connected to the game. I played it once and that's it. If instead of saying Five Nights at Freddy's, they just had it Nights at Freddy's, or because then you could actually have it take place over just like one night. And when it starts by Mike, you have a little bit of a beginning of telling Mike's story, and then when he goes in, it is this one terrifying night of him trying to survive, him figuring everything out. And you could even have, because at the very, very beginning of the movie, they told the story of another security guard. Have that be a little bit, and you can see what happens at the end with that security guard, and then you introduce Mike. I think they could have given a little bit more terror, a little bit more anxiety, a little bit more. It wasn't scary at all. It wasn't
scary at all.
I'm a wuss when it comes to horror movies, and this movie was not scary.
Yeah. I know we were kind of joking about as we were driving to the screening, and Dustin's like, I can't believe I'm going to a horror movie with you. And I was like, well, it's PG-13. It's going to be like, and I told him, I was like, it's going to be like Megan. And we saw Megan together and he was fine. So I was expecting like Megan level, and it was like so much lighter than that. And I think that's where I was.
Even Megan was really scarier, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was really disappointed with. And I don't need, so gore and like violence doesn't equal scary. It doesn't. Because but it's the feeling that you want to impart on the audience and giving them that anxiety of them wanting to hide behind their hands or in their hoodie, and they're like, oh my God, I can't watch this. You can do it. I believe in a PG-13. I really, because remember, once upon a time, there was a show on Nickelodeon called Are You Afraid of the Dark? That was very much, it's a kids television program, not like little kids, but I'm sure some of them watched it. But 13, some of those, 14, yeah, I remember watching some of those, and I was like, whoa. And then Goosebumps too.
Yeah.
So I think it can be done. I just wish that they leaned into both parts of it, and they spent so much of it on the lore and these dream sequences. Like I think Robert and Vanessa were saying, they're like, it took away from the excitement of it. Like they were working so hard to build that bridge between Mike's missing brother to the kids inside the Freddy inside the costumes, that they lost it.
Yeah. And the fact that there was a moment, spoiler alert, in the movie where the robots, all of the animatronics and the kid and Mike are making a fort together.
So I was curious about that. I was like, this doesn't seem right, because we know them, like for like people who aren't deep diving into the lore, right?
Yeah.
Like we're like, well, this seems opposite of what the game is telling us. But apparently in the games,
that does happen.
No, they don't build a fort, but the animatronics have always been fine with kids.
Oh,
because I had a question about that, so I just Googled it, and I was like, let me see if that's like a thing from the game, because this is very much a movie made for fans, and that's why we're seeing like a huge box office turnout and everything, because the fans are devoted, and they're happy to see this movie. And there's some people that were in our screening that were like, whoa, I can't believe they did that, they said this, and I was like, Okay, so like I wish I had their experience.
Yeah, and yeah, this definitely had tons of Easter eggs for fans, and we actually did not get any. We didn't get to enjoy that. So that is part of a big part of this movie.
Yeah,
that we don't get to enjoy.
Yeah. So Late to the Party says theater was packed last night. The teenage boy seems to like it more than teenage girls. That was kind of the same for our theater as well. That's what I've noticed. We actually asked a bunch of them after the screening. There were also a ton of cosplay last night at the theater. See, I love that. I love that. Like,
and it's Halloween, so this is the perfect time to dress up to go to the theater.
This movie 100% knew that it was going to be for the fans. Does it alienate the general audiences? Maybe a bit. But I think there's some people that I know that like Roka watched it. He enjoyed it.
Roka liked
I know for sure he didn't play the game.
Yeah. He actually says, and I think he came out with his out of the theater review.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think he said that. He said he didn't play the game. He's not familiar with the game. He enjoyed the movie.
Yeah. And I was laughing at this comment. Giovanni says, not going to lie, Megan, I mean, laughing through most of the movie was not scary at all. Yeah. So I think they had planned for like 2 more films.
It made money.
I feel like, and who knows, like if they're gonna continue with the day and date release, it's too far to tell. But like, I think there is definitely a fan base for Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm happy that the fans enjoyed it. I wish that I was able to enjoy it a little bit more. I wish it was just a hint more scary.
Yeah.
But I do like seeing that people love seeing those Easter eggs and cameos, like Matt Pat was in the diner scene. What other things were there? Springtrap obviously being a big one. Oh, Circus Baby. I think that there was a hint at that. The big doll. That was they never used. And
that's right.
And
the
dog,
one that they were going to put the girl into.
Yeah, and the dog, which I can't remember the dog's animatronic name, Sparky. And then they also had the jump scare with the balloon boy. That was the one jump scare that got me. The first one with Balloon Boy, because I don't like clowns, and that's what his face reminds me of. And the first one I was like, oh my god, no. But that was kind of it as far as jump scares goes. So, anyways, those are kind of the spoilers we wanted to talk about, and being able to clarify a little bit more about what we liked and didn't like about the film, more so than we can do on a non-spoiler review. But let's go ahead and get into what you guys are all here for and what we're here for. Let's talk about, where is my thing? Let's talk about Loki.
Loki episode 4.
Spoilers.
The one that took all of our fan theories and went, oh, you think that's where we're going?
Yeah. What in the heck? So I remember watching this and kind of going, all right. So Victor Timely is going to take the device. He's going to, be the hero and run out there and save it. And then we'll see what happens with the TVA moving forward. Does this help with the Loom, process all those timelines? Because you can see it was like getting close to just failing. And I was not expecting, like, somebody kept that secret real good, because I heard no one talk about this.
Nope.
No one. He took one tiny step out into the atmosphere.
It wasn't really a tiny step. He was boom.
He
boom,
was getting ready.
And then he hit that wall. And if you guys watch our reactions, it is both of us were just like, just full on. I mean, super caught us off guard.
It was just not on my bingo card, and I think that falls into our mentality when we watch a lot of, US based shows. Is that, this character is essentially a main character because he's a variant of Kane, or a variant of He Who Remains, that he will be safe in the series. Nothing's going to happen. Just like we think, nothing can happen to Loki. Nothing can happen to Mobius, right? I feel like a lot of the shows here in the States have kind of trained our mentality to have that. Title characters can't die, or there won't be a show without a title, which obviously that makes sense. But I think that applies to, like big name stars too. And you think, nothing can happen to him. And then it does.
Well, and also the fact that it wasn't just Timely that it happened to.
Yeah.
Renslayer got pruned.
Yes.
Miss Minutes got shut down. Then the TVA blows up. Or at least it looks like it. No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it blew up. And so it looks like technically you're in a point where you're like, everybody's dead.
So what happened to all the timelines are gone?
And is this
the TVA no longer exists?
Of He Who Remains' plan? Is this what he planned on doing? Was that little thing that Miss Minutes said to Victor Timely, "Oh, you'll never be him," part of what He Who Remains wanted? Or is she deliberately trying to sabotage it so he would do something stupid and go out and get spaghettified?
I don't know. I wouldn't put anything past Kang.
Yeah.
Just because, like, the theory of, like, him being, like, the baddest of all bads, right? But so far, if you think about it, also this is not coming from me. This is from a meme that I saw. I think it was on Twitter or X, I guess now. But somebody was like, "Oh, Kang will be the most fearsome villain of all MCU, even more so than Thanos." And then people are like, "Thanos lasted through all these movies. Kang, or a variant of Kang in Ant-Man 3.
Loki season 1, a variant of Kang died. Yeah. Ant-Man, a variant of Loki died. A variant of Kang died. In Loki season 2, another variant of Kang. So far, all the variants of Kang that we have met have died.
So whoever posted that was kind of like poking fun at it, and I was like, "That's valid. That's because you're seeing that." But I think there's something way bigger at play. You gotta be in for the long game. I think for a villain like Kang. I mean, even Thanos was sitting on that throne for the longest time before he actually like fully entered into and having like legit screen time in an Avengers film.
Yeah. Well, and also that's the big point about Kang. It doesn't matter how many of them you kill. There is an infinite number of Kangs, an infinite versions of him. So he's always going to be.
We saw that in the post-credit scene. Was it the post-credit scene of Ant-Man where all the Kangs were? The council?
The Council of Kangs. Yeah. We saw that. But that's the whole point, and that's why you need that sacred timeline, because you're just going to constantly get another Kang, another Kang, another Kang. It's kind of, they're kind of like, what is it called? Like roaches.
Yeah.
No matter how many you kill, there's going to be another one.
Yes. I think there were so many good things too, so many cool things that's happened in the latest episode. That conversation between Sylvie and Loki after she gets mad about, like, "You're thinking about pie." Yeah. It's so good for them to have like that heart to heart, and they're both, like really great actors. But I think what surprised me a lot, I mean, not as much as the spaghettification portion of it, but how sinister. Like, I didn't know how psychotic. One of you guys said it in the comments, psychotic Miss Minutes was going to be.
When you watch all of those hunters get squished, and she was like, ha, ha. I'm like,
yeah, she's got like bloodlust in her eyes. It's crazy. So I feel like she's definitely a bigger villain than we all anticipated her to be. And then I saw a comment in our reaction video, and somebody was like, "What if it's Ouroboros that's also behind all of this?" And I was like, "No, Naki, he is all good."
But you know what? That is actually a very interesting topic to start talking about too. Is Ouroboros's place in all of this? It seems like he's the only one that has not had his memory wiped. He remembers.
They forgot about him.
I think they put him down in his little dungeon where he's actually kind of happy just to kind of tinker and move and do his thing. And but yet he's the one whose work inspired Victor Timely's, but Victor Timely's work inspired him. And there was someone in the chat, I can't remember who it was because it scrolled past, so that did mention that conversation between Ouroboros and Victor Timely was really fun to watch.
Yes.
And you got to see, don't drink that, Navi. You got to see this kind of them both fanboying out. They both want to sign each other's books.
She's gonna drink it. You better put that on the table.
Oh, Navi. They both want to sign each other's books, and it was, I think it was Mobius or Loki who finally goes, "Hey guys, we're things are about ready to explode."
Hunter. I think it was B-15.
Was it?
I think so, because I think she
Maybe.
was there. But yeah, I love it because we kind of got that with Casey and Ouroboros too, when the first time they met, and it was like really, really cute.
That was,
but
yeah.
The Victor Timely and Ouroboros is just like, oh, you. I love that they were able to get Kiki Kwan to sign on to the series. Like, he's just added so much, like,
yeah,
just heart and makes me smile. But yeah, like, I think what happens now, because TVA doesn't really exist on a timeline per se. So I think that's why the time slipping made it really interesting, because he was time slipping to the past, and even like OB was saying, like, well, that's not possible in the TVA. It's like, yeah, but you just saw it happen.
What does he say? I'm having troubles reconciling with that.
Yeah, I'm having a difficulty reconciling that, or something like that. Yeah, it is. I can't even predict what we're gonna get in the next 2 episodes.
Yeah, well, if there are some clips that we have seen from trailers that we have not gotten a chance to see yet. There's a few time slipping moments with Loki that have not happened yet. So we know
so he'll go into the time slipping thing again.
Yes, so I think he's going to be able to time slip back to
the beginning of all that,
or somehow. I think that's going to play a part in him being able to start tweaking certain things to make it so this didn't happen. But there's also a moment to where you see that TVA screen start to spaghettify, the one that had like all of the warnings.
You're talking about branching, or
the branch?
TV actually spaghettified?
The TV, the TV itself. So parts of the TVA start to spaghettify. So we still know that there's a lot that we've actually seen in the trailers.
I don't remember it. I gotta rewatch it.
That happens. So I'm really curious on what's going to happen with that, because right now it's kind of like I have no clue.
Yeah,
I think what's happening is this is the representation of that sacred timeline now 100% exploding into the multiverse. There is now nothing that resembles a sacred timeline. And what is it? They pointed this out on New Rockstars when they go into the asteroid that's at the end of time or outside of time. That is He Who Remains' layer. You can notice all of these cracks to where it was kind of pasted together, that it looks like it was designed to break apart and then be pulled back together. So I think there's this constant breaking, bring back together, breaking, bring back together theory or job that He Who Remains has designed the sacred timeline to have to do. That there's going to be moments to where it has to break apart, and then Multiversal War brings it back together.
Yeah.
So, but what if? I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the comment that Blade has said, who says maybe Victor wanted to be spaghettified in order to have his essence join in with something. And I've seen other comments like that, similar ones on our reaction video as well. And I was like, so that's maybe what Kang wanted all along.
It was Kang all along.
God.
Sorry.
So yeah, like, oh, I'm so curious, because I literally have, and that's what's, I'm really excited for next week, because I don't have any expectations to go into. I have nothing. I have zero zilch. And you know what? I was thinking too, like, maybe I'll rewatch the trailers to kind of jog my memory and kind of like have theories. But then I think I'm going to X that, because like, I don't want a theory going in. I just want to watch it, and I want to just sit down on the ride, put the lap bars down, and be like, all right, show, take me wherever you want me to go. And I just want to be fully immersed in the story.
Now, also, I want to hear your thoughts on this. There's thoughts that Renslayer is Kang's female variant, on the fact that Renslayer, because Renslayer and Kang, or He Who Remains, are working together kind of the same way that Loki and Sylvie are working together. But Kang turned around and wiped Renslayer's memory, because he told in that recording,
wipe everybody's memory.
And it's, what is it, like Order 40? It's very much reminded me of Execute Order 66
of the memories.
Wipe their memory, all of them.
Yeah. Oh man, that'll be interesting. And I already saw somebody saying that like, oh, Loki, for some of the unseen footage or the unaired footage so far from the trailers, like Loki at a dealership.
Yeah.
You said time slipping. I don't know. I'm so curious.
This is one of the few times in a show where we see, like, because we only have 2 more episodes left, which is only 2.
Was season 1 also 6 episodes?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I think we had this conversation before where we were like,
just don't remember.
I thought it was more episodes, but no, we looked and it was actually
this piece of hair has been bothering me the entire live stream. I just can't. I blue dry it too, and it just doesn't want to stay.
That's why at some days I just always put a hat on because I'm just like, oh, hey, it actually is kind of staying. This morning it was poof. But anyways, ADD. Sorry.
Wow. We have zero prediction of what's to come next. And I think seeing Victor Timely getting turned into spaghetti is going to stick with everybody's mind a lot. Somebody already said it in the comments, like in the chat a long time ago, but it reminded me of the Reed Richard what Wanda did to him. So then I went back when I was editing because I was going to put the clip in, and then I realized that like it kind of still looked different. It's same but different because he was being shredded by her magic and not by like the radiation that he like.
Yeah.
And this one's way more gruesome. This one's way more gruesome.
Yeah, you actually saw like the blood, the guts, and the insides and the bones. And someone mentioned it earlier. That scream that he lets out was just the whole effect was just executed so well that it just made me, it just helped catch us 100% off guard. But yeah, we are at a place to where I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't even have any idea of what the end goal is now.
Yeah.
Like, are they trying to get everything to be just destroyed into the multiverse, and that's going to start the multiverse saga?
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of the kickoff to the big, and now Marvel's going to start working their way towards Kang Dynasty and Secret War.
Yeah.
So
Leo has an interesting theory. Leo says, oh, wait, where'd it go? Hold on. Looking for it.
Oh, but yeah, Scott Lang's multiple versions of himself being spaghettified when he's running towards the core. That was the other time.
Here we go. Leo says, I think it'll tie into the Marvels because the Marvels and Loki episode 6 come out at the same time. I mean, technically, Loki will air Thursday evening, the 9th, and then the Marvels with previews running on Thursday and then officially opening on Friday the 10th. But I don't know if the two can have, because if all the timelines go bye-bye, does that mean, well, we still don't know what's going to happen in episode 5, though.
Yeah.
So if he's able to kind of like salvage at least the sacred timeline, then I guess the Marvels can continue as is. But
yeah,
I'm very confused.
But I'm really, overall, I'm kind of concerned about the Marvels just because I was so disappointed in what is it called? In Secret Invasion. And there's a lot that's being pulled from Secret Invasion for the Marvels. But also someone did mention in the comment that, do you think that He Who Remains will be back for the final episode? I think He Who Remains is in one more episode, because I think I remember hearing that Jonathan Majors signed on for 3 episodes of Loki, and he's been in 2. So that means we get one more episode, which would make sense if he's in the final episode. Yeah. He might not be Victor Timely, and he might not be He Who Remains.
Yeah, he might be
another Kang.
Oh, God.
Which would be cool. Which I think would be very, very interesting to pull off.
Yeah. Look, we're having so much fun watching the show.
Yes.
I actually think I like season 2 better than season 1.
Yes.
I actually,
honestly,
and we liked season 1 a lot.
So far, I mean, in season 1, there was one episode that I kind of did not like, but all of the other episodes I loved.
Was it the running around the city one?
I think it was the one that they were on the train.
Yeah.
I thought that one was I thought it slowed everything down. But so far of Loki, I've loved every single episode, and it's been go, 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 go. There has not been any episode to where it has slowed down too much. They've had their mission, they've had their goal, they had their problems. They have, okay, we have got to do this, got to do this, got to do this. So there was no time for it to actually have this lull. And I'm loving it. So far, I do agree with you. I think I like season 2 more than season 1, which is a rarity when it comes to TV shows.
Yeah. I can't wait until next week, which we don't have to wait too far. Well, no, we do. It's only Saturday.
I know. It just came out.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, wait. So, yeah. We'll definitely be filming a reaction for episode 5. So make sure you're subscribed and tuned in when we release that video sometime late Thursday, because it takes a while to edit. But we've been loving it so far. And I'm kind of sad that that's like the last Marvel TV show for the remainder of the year.
Yeah. Because after that, we are in what? Yeah, we're going to be in November.
We're in the last quarter of the year, so it makes sense. But it's just like when you have a show this good and just it's holding your attention, you're like, oh, I want to live in it just a little bit longer. But I'm very curious to how they're going to fix this problem, because everything is looking very, 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 very bad right now. And also, before we end the show, when everything faded to black, it stayed black for a long time. And it was in the comments of our reaction video saying that what if it's kind of like the equivalence of like a TV being turned off.
Oh.
And that's like, and you pan back from that, and it's
back to
like
WandaVision.
Back to, and it's like one of the Kanes watching the TV. Or somebody within the, I don't know. Somebody had that was really interesting.
More of a kind of like the Big Bang kind of a vibe. You know, this is boom and the restart of everything.
They reset everything. My God. All right. Well, we're excited for the next week's episode. If you are, make sure you're subscribed, to turn on the notification bell, and check us checking out the show, I guess. And of course, thank you guys all for being here today. We had so much fun chatting with you guys.
Yep. And Starju, I am very excited for What If Season 2.
Yay! I forgot that it was coming out. Yeah. Maybe they can explore also like this a little bit more too.
Yeah.
If they, we'll see. We'll see what they do with it. The multiverse. Blaze says I was getting more of a Big Bang feeling, Dustin. Is in my head again.
Yes. Get out of my head.
Get out of my head. All right, guys. We love you so much. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Oh, Discord. Let me pull up our Discord.
Gotta pull it on up there.
Hold on 1 second. It takes a second.
Yeah, but also I think our season finale reaction for Loki going to be a little late because we have something.
Nope.
Okay. We're going to be able to get it done. Awesome.
Yes. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, trying to find the actual social media link.
I don't know where I put it. I have too many notes.
It's been so long since we've been on.
I think it's here. Yeah, here it is. Nope, that's something else.
That's for the live stream.
That's something else. Oh, what the heck? I'll find it. Don't leave. You talk to them while I look for it.
Oh, go ahead and just talk to them when we were all done with talking about everything. So we do have a couple of new things up on our channel. If you guys have not caught so far, we have our review for Five Nights at Freddy's. We have we are working on getting the latest episode of Gen V up, which is episode 6, I believe. And I do have to admit, this show is keeping on getting crazier and crazier and crazier. So I'm excited to see what the newest episode of Gen V is going to be.
Yes.
Wendy and I are excited because we're also diving into The Boys. And even though I know a lot of what happens, it's still an amazing show to watch.
Ooh, Darth Vader in the chat says there's a rumor about end credit saying that Scarlet Witch could return. You know what's interesting? You know what's interesting? I just somebody put it. Was it you, MK, who put it in the Discord? And I saw it earlier. Was that so? There's an official book out now from Marvel, and it's called The Official MCU Timeline or something like that. That's the title. And in the book, it apparently, allegedly, confirms that Scarlet Witch did die at the collapse of, what is that called? Wanda, whatever that place is called. Yeah. And then because on that page where they talk about it, there's like icons that the book uses, and the icon that they use depicts like major character death. And there's really no other major character in that scene other than the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
So that makes me wonder.
Well, and also right now there was only that one Scarlet Witch. All of the other variants were Wanda Maximoff, because none of them had taken the name Scarlet Witch. Mm-hmm. I'm really curious though, because I know that Marvel signed Elizabeth Olsen to like 10 movies, 10 appearances.
Wow.
In Marvel properties.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that since they now have confirmed, if they did in fact confirm that Scarlet Witch's death, mm-hmm. we're going to get a variant Scarlet Witch that Elizabeth Olsen is going to play. And the fact that I'm guessing that it's probably going to be the Wanda Maximoff from the universe that Doctor Strange visited with Reed Richards, that had Wanda Maximoff come to her universe, try to kill her and steal her children. Yeah. Who I'm pretty sure I could see her going back to that universe and going, "What the hell was that? What just happened? How come there was a person that? Why was there another trying to kill me and steal my children?" Yeah, that's very traumatizing. So yeah, so that's just, it's just like an observation that we made. It's very interesting. If like the post credit or mid credit. Thank you, whatever. Debbie, for bringing that to our attention. Mm-hmm. Debbie, not Star-Drew. Sorry, I was like, what? Because it was Star-Drew that brought it to. It was Darth Vader. Darth Vader, right here. This one. I'm sorry. It might no. Who brought up the book to you? I think it was MK. It was MK. Oh, okay. I think it was MK. I think I'm not. I'm giving credit. Sure. I'm giving credit to someone else. I'm sorry. Star-Drew was like, not me. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will see you in our next video or on our next live stream. Stay well and see you soon. Bye. Bye.